At the outset, Mrunal and Kunal, thank you very much for hopping on board and making this interaction happen. I just wanted to understand the beginnings of Tennis Premier League itself. And maybe Kunal, you can take this one. What was the spark behind Tennis Premier League that led you to, create this particular league?
So this was started in 2018, and as you may be aware, that is a time when IPL was doing really well. Of course, it's doing much better now, but because of IPL, a lot of cricketers and a lot of people who are associated with cricket, be it in the administration or on ground or the associations, were all benefiting out of IPL. Similarly, there was a badminton league that started, and that was a lot of support and a lot of awareness around badminton. And as I also have my academies in Bombay, we somehow saw that the moment the badminton league came in, and these players were doing well, they were seen on TV. There was a huge drop in the number of kids who were playing tennis, and there was a shift towards badminton. So to be honest, that was what prompted us to think of something that we could do for tennis, which would get them attention towards tennis. And there were a lot of kids who were not getting the due that they deserved. There were a lot of players who were not getting the platform that they deserved, and that was the whole idea behind the league, that we create a platform for the players of India, and of course, whatever support we could give them through the league. Because when you do a league or a tennis event, there's a lot of corporate sponsorships that come in. So that was the whole idea, that we create a platform for our Indian players and do something which makes tennis more popular in our country.
Right. So, and now what I was saying was, Kunal, what you mentioned makes sense 100%. Mrunal, I want to come to you now, given that you're the business brains behind the whole venture itself. What outcomes matter the most to you, Mrunal? I know there is a growth element to it. How would you personally define success for the Tennis Premier League?
There are multiple factors to it. I think, of course, doing consecutively and having that steady growth for the last 5 seasons has been one of the aspects. The quality of the players, how it's been improved that way. The most important thing I think in any league is the sustainability when it comes to having sponsors on board, having the trust factor from the franchisees and everything. So I think the biggest success for a Tennis Premier League has been the team owners who have had the vision with us. Even there are people who have not played tennis but came forward to, who have been a diehard fans of cricket and have come forward to own a team in tennis. And over the years, the interest has kept developing, and that's how last year we got the APL Apollo. We have the High Tech group coming in. We have the World Wizard group coming in. We have Strachi group coming in. So these have just, I think these are the most important growth factors what Tennis Premier League has experienced in the last 5 years. And what I and Kunal, I think, have always focused on is to build a game which not only is about those 6 days or 7 days of the league, but round the year develop the sport on a grassroots development. Focus on students and focus on people wanting to take up tennis, because when a sport grows, that's the time you are actually having a league which is building up for the next Olympic or for the next top 50 in the world. So I think that's the prime goal what Kunal and I have said. We focus on the grassroots development along with giving them a chance to come in the tennis.
Sure. And Kunal, we know that the Tennis Premier League has been around for a while. This is not the first season, but for the benefit of individuals who are watching this when we do take this out, if you can just roll back the clock and give everybody an idea how many seasons have transpired so far, and what were some of the takeaways from the previous seasons?
So we started in 2018, like we mentioned, and what we had in mind from day one is that we want to grow the league slowly and steadily. We wanted to test the waters. We wanted to create a true fan base, and you can see a gradual growth in the league. If you talk about 2018, we had players from Maharashtra who were playing in the league. In 2019, you saw players from India playing in the league. Then, of course, COVID happened and there was no season in 2020. But when we came back stronger in 2021 with the international players, starting to play in the league. And then if you see season 5, we had players who were top 100. You were seeing players like Ernest Gulbis and Arina Rodionova, who were around 100, 120 in the world. But with season 6, if you talk about, we are seeing players who are in the top 50. We have Max Purcell, who's a two-time Grand Slam champion. You have Rohan Bopanna, who's a two-time Grand Slam champion, a former world number one, and of course the flag bearer for tennis in India currently. Then you have Sumit Nagal playing in the league. So the growth has been continuous, and what we expect, from season 6 is top quality tennis, along with the best quality of production. What we would like to, highlight here is that now TPL will not only be seen in India, but through our partners all over the world. Like we've tied up with Inverlay, we've tied up with several international broadcasters. So now TPL will be seen in North America, in Canada, and a lot of Asian countries. So that is the growth that we've seen in the last 6 years.
Fantastic. And the fact that Tennis Premier League will be witnessed in other parts of the world is fantastic progress. And I want to come to you now, Mrunal. Right. For the upcoming season, are there any groundbreaking new changes or fresh ideas that you're eager to introduce?
I think this year we're introducing the 25-point format. Like we from 20 point we have gone to 25-point format, because when we're getting such top players, we would want them to play a lot of points on the court and make it slightly interesting. So from 80 points we have gone to 100 points, and of course the top-notch players are there. What we have also in pipeline is that we have launched our own Tennis Premier League app. So the focus from the Tennis Premier League app, as I said, till the time we do not have the young kids and everyone approaching tennis as a career, if we don't build the sport, any league cannot sustain. So the idea is to conduct a lot of tournaments under Tennis Premier League's umbrella, create that competition of being the number one in their state, getting them together on one stage, felicitate them, give them sponsorship. So the goal is that from this year we conducted almost more than 300 tournaments in the past 6 months. Now the idea is to conduct these tournaments more like 600 to 1000, have the number one players across 27 states, get them on one platform, conduct as many as get the academies together through the TPL app. Because once you have the community, you have the players, that's where I think the numbers, when we talk about any sponsorship numbers, like if we talk to IPL or anything, we have the numbers. So what happens with tennis is that any other sport, I would say, that it's the final game comes to the number. So what as a Tennis Premier League they're doing is getting the whole academy and the community together, so the strength of the community comes together, and that's how people will give the numbers and the real target audience, because everybody understands that tennis is a niche audience. So if we get 1:10 ratio also, one tennis audience versus a cricket audience, so I think it creates a lot of value for a sponsor also, even if it's the whole number is around 1 lakh or 10 lakhs or something. So the ratio becomes bigger, and I think that's the idea, is to get the community together.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic initiative of casting a wider net and getting the critical mass playing the sport. And Kunal, with that sort of initiative of casting a wider net, if I can use that terminology, are you seeing some sort of traction in the tier 2, tier 3 cities? And if yes, what numbers do you have to share with us?
So I would say that it's a misconception that tennis is an urban sport, and it's only played in the cities. Through the app, like Mrunal was mentioning, we've conducted around 300 tournaments, and you'll be surprised that the entries that we're getting in places like Anand or Bharuch are equal to the number of entries that you get in a city like Mumbai or Delhi. We are conducting tournaments in Kolhapur, Sholapur, in Pune, and in remote areas. And there is a lot of fan base even in these cities. And, so it's basically tennis is now getting into the roots. And that is what we want to, cater to. We wanted to reach to the common person who might be in a tier 2 or a tier 3 city. Because yes, after cricket, now people are interested and keen on taking up other sports.
Correct. And coming back to the business front of the league itself, Mrunal, when you do talk to the corporate world about mobilizing resources for the sport of tennis, Do you see some sort of opposition or hindrance? And if yes, what are some of the questions that you get asked?
See, as I said before, also of course there are, because we are entering into competition which is a non-cricketing league. So when we talk to the top marketing heads or so, there has always been the what are the numbers? How is this going to sport? How is this sport going to sustain? IPL or any other league has a 2 months window. TPL normally any Grand Slams have a 14-day window, we have a 7-day window. So how are these numbers going to be? How are you all going to sustain? Plus, what is the long-term plan? These are the questions which I think it's a right approach which they also have. And when we talk, the reason to get this TPL app was that it's over and beyond the league which we are trying to do, and that's where the faith has developed. Seeing the past 6 months, how the tournaments have happened, how the players are chose like the number one players, how people have actually participated. There have been more than 10,000 registrations in a total cumulative number, if I talk about, in the last 6 months who have registered. So itself shows that yes, people want to participate in tennis. They want to participate in tournament. I think they were just finding the right platform. Now, what the goal is to have these 10,000 people play multiple tournaments around the year and get this 10,000 number to a 1 lakh number in a year. So I think these numbers, when it comes to them, it's more than just a viewership. It's more of an engagement when now these corporates look at. So they already do so many activities regarding to promote the sport and everything. Now they have taken interest that this is a nice step to grow the sport. So difficulties have come, but we have taken it in a positive way, and we have worked on the other platform of the TPL app and got this in a combination with the tennis.
And that's a solid number, isn't it? 10,000 registrations on the app, and Mrunal, you're saying that the goal is to get it upwards to 100,000. So Kunal, if I were to ask you that's a very ambitious number, 1 lakh players at the grassroots levels, and you've played tennis before as well. So when you look at the grassroots, right, what are some of the challenges that you are seeing now that would prevent a player from starting to play the sport itself and then moving up the ranks? What are the challenges that you see?
I think the biggest challenge that we're all facing currently as a tennis community is that, of course, Rohan Bopana has been doing extremely well, and of course, Sumit has been performing really well. But I still feel we are missing that one hero. We are missing the star, as I would say, like in the times of Leander Paes, Mahesh Bhupati, and Sania Mirza. When we were, she was 1 year younger to me, but as soon as she became a Grand Slam champion, we would see people taking up tennis because they wanted to be the next Sania Mirza. We would see people playing tennis because they wanted to be Leander Paes. For us, it was a dream to achieve what Leander has achieved. 17 Grand Slams is not a joke. So I feel that the biggest challenge right now for tennis is to create that one hero. And the moment you have that, you'll see these numbers increasing. And that is what we want to do through the TPL app, like Mrunal mentioned. We've come up with the initiative called Race to Gold, wherein we're picking up kids who are 10 and 12-year-olds. We are giving them a platform, making them the district number ones, getting them to play state number one, and then eventually getting them to play TPL and support them in this journey. And the aim is to create an Olympic champion. Because the truth is, till the time you don't get an Olympic medal for the country, the government doesn't, support or I would say take keen interest in the sport. So as a league and as people who love tennis, we want to create an Olympic champion. And one thing I would like to put forward to your platform is that when a player like Sumit Nagal gets support, or when a player like Rohan gets some support or some help from the government, of course it is appreciated. But we need to support the players when they are younger. We need to be a part of their journey and help them achieve what they want to. Once a player has achieved it, then that support may or may not matter, but it will matter when they are talented, when they need the support.
You made a very interesting point there, Kunal, about heroes and how they play an important role, right? So, Mrunal, if I were to ask you, I understand that some of the biggest names from the history of Indian tennis are associated with the Tennis Premier League. If you can share for the benefit of our audience who they are and the roles that they will be playing in the Tennis Premier League, that'll be helpful.
I think this question, I think Kunal will answer the best.
Kunal?
So actually, since 2018, Mrunal kept telling me, "Can we get Leander and Mahesh together? Can we get Leander and Mahesh together?" And we are very honored and happy and excited to share that at the auctions of the TPL Season 6, we had Leander, Mahesh, Sania, all three of them on stage together after many years. So that was a very happy moment for us. And talking about their roles, Leander has been a part of the league since day one at the inauguration of Season 1. And he's, of course, been there on every step, on every place wherever we needed him. But currently, he has the responsibility of being the brand ambassador and the face of the Delhi team, which is the Srajki Ra Delhi Tigers. So Leander has come in as the brand ambassador for the Delhi team. Sania, of course, is supporting the Bengal team and is the brand ambassador for the Bengal team. And Mahesh, as we know, is with the SG group. Mr. Sanjay Gupta's sports vertical, which is the SG Apollo, which team is Bangalore. SG Bangalore is the team which Mahesh will be heading as the CEO. Apart from the three tennis legends, we have Taapsee Pannu, who owns the Punjab team. That's again a very proud thing for us when we say the celebrity actually owns the entire team. So that is the Punjab team. Rakulpreet Singh is the co-owner in the Hyderabad team. We have Sonali Bendre, who's been supporting the league from day one and is associated with the team of Chennai this year.
So you've got a heady combination of tennis legends as well as movie stars. So you've got the game going with the glitz, and that's quite a good concoction there as well. So Mrunal, if I were to ask you to, look into the crystal ball and predict Tennis Premier League and what it could become a decade down the line, what is your vision for the league itself?
The vision towards has been the same, which has been from day one. I think and I wouldn't say that this is because I'm on the camera, but it's something that where the sport needs the support, where people want to take up tennis as a career. If we see that today, if an academy has 100 students, if Tennis Premier League can make a difference by getting it to a 300 students, if the tournament which has the entries of around 150 to 200, if there are 400, 500 participants for one tournament, the key goal is to get as many as kids to take up tennis as a career, because the sport has been followed worldwide and it's one of the topmost followed sport. So the vision to have in the next 10 years is to have 5,000 tournaments a year, have 27 states having their own Tennis Premier League. So that's the ultimate vision to have, and I think make tennis stars, and 2036 have the gold for India.
That's a fantastic line to finish on. Have the gold for India. Final question to you, Kunal. When you look at the grassroots and all the talent that the country has, you do believe that what Mrunal just mentioned is a realistic possibility?
Yes, I'll come to that, but there's one more vision which I think Mrunal has, and he forgot to mention, is that to get the top players from the world play in the league. And we did try to get, we have come till top 50, but the aim was to get the top 10 players of the world play in this season. But hopefully in the next 2-3 seasons, you will see the top 10 players of the world participating. And when you talk about the vision 10 years down the line, would be to get TPL on the global map and create a event, create a property which will be recognized. Like, of course, it's a far-fetched thought and dream for us, but to create a Grand Slam like event in India where all the top players of the world will be participating. And I know he's been pushing me for that we need to get the Federers and the Nadals to play in the league, and I'm sure in the next few years we should be able to achieve that. But coming back to the grassroots, definitely it's very achievable, and it's just that we have to create an ecosystem. We have to build the community. There are a lot of players who do play tennis, who love tennis, and tennis is, like Mrunal mentioned, an Olympic sport, and we are aiming to get a medal in tennis in the 2036 Olympics, which hopefully will happen in India.
Mrunal and Kunal, congratulations on all the work that you're doing, and we'll definitely keep an eye out for you in all the upcoming seasons. We definitely want to see Sinner and Alcaraz next season at the earliest.
Great. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much.